You know that feeling, right? When one piece of bad news hits and then another one lands right on top of it? You tell yourself, okay, I can handle this. It's probably just a coincidence. But then a third thing happens, and just like that, everything changes.
Well, that's pretty much what just happened. Today, we're talking March 6th, 2026. A couple of major economic signals just started flashing bright red, and honestly, we need to talk about what it means. So let's just dive right in and see what the data is telling us.
First up, jobs. The U.S. economy didn't add jobs last month. Nope, it lost them. We're talking 92,000 jobs gone. And look, this isn't just some minor slowdown. This is a clear sign that the economy is contracting. It's actually the biggest miss we've seen in months.
Okay, so while we were all trying to process that jobs number, oil quietly shot past $90 a barrel. Now, this isn't some small move, you guys. It was a massive jump in a single week. In fact, it's the strongest surge we've seen since way back in the early days of the pandemic.
And here's the thing, this is the crucial point. One of these events on its own, yeah, it's a problem, but it's a problem we can probably handle. But both of them happening at the exact same time, that is a very specific and frankly, a very dangerous kind of economic trouble. It even has a name, and the last time we saw it, it stuck around for nearly a decade.
All right, so let's peel back the layers on these reports a little bit. Because, the real story isn't in the big flashy headlines. It's always buried in the details.
Let's really connect the dots here. So the job loss number was bad enough on its own, but then you see they revised the numbers for the last 2 months down, which tells us the weakness actually started earlier than we thought. At the same time, wages are still climbing, which is squeezing businesses from 2 different directions. And that oil spike? It's not just about what you pay for gas. A key shipping lane is basically shut down, which means this supply shock is about to ripple out and hit food prices too.
So let's just recap the pieces of our puzzle here. We've got a shrinking job market, a huge spike in energy costs, and wages that keep going up. Does that specific cocktail of economic problems ring any bells for you? Because it absolutely should.
This isn't some new script we've never seen before. To really get what could be coming our way, we have to look back at the last time this particular villain was on the main stage, the 1970s.
And that villain's name is Stagflation. It's this really toxic, really destructive mix of a stagnant economy, we're talking slow growth and high unemployment, crashing right into high inflation. It's literally the worst of both worlds.
And wow, the impact back then was just staggering, as you can see right here. For an entire decade, the Dow Jones basically went nowhere. But you have to look closer. It wasn't a lost decade for everything. While your typical stocks and real estate got absolutely crushed, real assets, things like gold, energy, commodities, they skyrocketed. Gold gained over 2,000%. The difference was just stark.
And that brings us to what is maybe the single most important lesson from that whole era. It wasn't a lost decade for the investors who saw what was happening and actually adjusted their strategy. Those folks didn't just survive, they actually thrived, because they shifted their portfolios to what worked in that environment.
So I guess that's the million-dollar question, right? Is 2026 just going to be a repeat performance of the 1970s? Let's take a look at the evidence, put it side by side.
Okay, I gotta say, the parallels are genuinely unnerving. An oil shock kicked off by a conflict in the Middle East? Check. A job market that was already showing signs of getting weaker? Check. And a Federal Reserve that is totally boxed in? Check. Think about it. If they cut interest rates to help out the job market, they risk making inflation even worse. But if they don't, they could push the economy into a really deep recession. It's the exact same trap they fell into back then. But, and this is a really important but, 2026 is not 1973. There are some key differences, some potential escape routes this time around. Unlike back in the 70s, the US is now the world's biggest oil producer, and that gives us a powerful shock absorber. On top of that, OPEC has some spare capacity it could turn on, and the government has a strategic reserve it can tap into. So the tools are there. The real question is whether they'll be used in time. So with all this swirling around, what do you actually do? This isn't about trying to predict the future, it's about being prepared. Let's walk through a quick 4-point framework, sort of a toolkit for what a stagflation-proof portfolio might look like. So here are 4 questions to run everything through. First, pricing power. Can a company raise its prices without all its customers running for the hills? Second, real assets. Is it connected to tangible stuff, like oil in the ground or physical property? Third, debt. How much money does it owe?
because a mountain of debt is an absolute killer when interest rates start to rise. And finally, number 4, and this is key, you have to layer this analysis. Combine this filter with what we already know about how things perform under different rate and economic shock scenarios. That combined lens is going to be your best guide for the next 6 months.
Now, look, today's data doesn't guarantee we're headed for another decade of stagflation. A single jobs report and one bad week for oil, that doesn't seal our fate. But the pattern is starting to form, and the time to prepare is before the pattern is complete, not after.
And you know what? We are going to get our next big clues very, very soon. Next week, the big inflation report drops. Then, the week after that, the Fed meets to make its next interest rate decision. These 2 data points are going to tell us if today was just a scare or if it was the start of a fundamental major shift.
And of course, we'll be right here to break it all down for you. Because we don't predict the future, and we don't recommend stocks. We solve puzzles.